We bring you the lunch edition of MBC News with me, Obile Kaisa. Coming up this afternoon, the World Bank approves a grant worth $80 million to the Malawi government aimed at boosting governance and service delivery. Over 200 fuel trucks en route into the country as government strives to address fuel shortage. And in sports, the 2026-2027 FDH Bank Premiership set to kick off with 4 matches across the country this afternoon. And now the news in detail. The World Bank has approved an $80 million grant to support the government of Malawi in implementing the Governance to Enable Service Delivery project. The project is aimed at improving public service, strengthening local governance, and creating jobs across all districts. Tamvani reports.
The grant will see Malawians across 32 districts and municipal councils benefit from expanded public services, opportunities for local jobs, and improved service delivery and accountability. The project will scale up performance-based grants, PBG, and strengthen financial resource management and multi-level governance to improve public service delivery in Malawi. Firas Rad, World Bank Group Country Manager for Malawi, said the $80 million grant to the government of Malawi for the JSED 2.0 project will improve public service for citizens living across 28 districts and for municipal local authorities including Kasungu, Luchenza, Mangochi and Karonga. He further said the project will also institutionalize performance-based approaches within government systems, strengthen health, education, water and infrastructure services for communities across Malawi, and generate local employment through expanded capital investment in districts. Rad said JSED 2.0 is a testament to what is possible when government, citizens and development partners commit to systemic reform and hold each other accountable for results, adding that in just 6 years, Malawi's local authorities have improved their performance. According to the World Bank, JSED 2.0 means more children learning in better classrooms, more families receiving health care, and more families with access to clean water. The statement further says with this new investment, the gains of JSED 1 will further be taken to every corner of Malawi, while also creating jobs for contractors, builders and professionals in every district. JSED 2.0 will be implemented by the National Local Government Finance Committee in close collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization. Tamvani, MBC News, Blantyre.
The government says over 200 fuel trucks are in transit to address the fuel situation that has affected most parts of the economy in the past few days. Minister of Energy and Mining, Jean Matanga, disclosed this during a press briefing in Blantyre. Chisomo Break reports.
Matanga, who was joined by the Minister of Information, Shadrack Namalomba, and officials from Mera and Nokima, acknowledged that this week's fuel situation has been exacerbated by insufficient forex. She therefore noted that the government has secured forex for procurement of enough volumes of fuel. According to the minister, over 200 trucks in transit and a lot more loading in Tanzania and Mozambique ports. The fuel situation will normalize by next week.
I must say that we are now improving. I know the past 7 days or so, the country has been subjected to these fuel stockouts. But there are a number of issues that has contributed to that. But what I can just say in summary is that the major hit was only forex for us to purchase the fuels. So I'm happy to report that we have since managed to secure the forex for us to be able to pay for the fuels. And from last Wednesday, we started pushing in. Trucks have been coming. And from last Wednesday, we were looking at about 243 trucks that have been loading in our ports, in the ports in Tanzania and Mozambique. And some are already in the country and others are in transit. And we keep on loading. And I'm sure come next week, Monday, Tuesday, we should see a very big difference to the supply of fuel in the country.
Apart from fuel becoming a sought-after commodity, Malawians are also enduring persistent load sheddings that have affected key sectors of the national economy. On this, the energy minister said the load sheddings are largely caused by aging infrastructure and a lack of maintenance by the past administration. Additionally, the minister said that the government is considering on transporting fuel by rail as part of efforts to improve supply in the country. She further said that the government is engaging other SADC countries such as Zambia and Zimbabwe for fuel supply through pipelines to strengthen delivery and efficiency.
At the same time, we do also have issues to do with theft of our ESCOM property, ESCOM equipment, line machinery, and all that. And that is also affecting us, and it's affecting the work of ESCOM big time. As a result, instead of concentrating on new works, they're going back to do the fixing. There's also the issue of sabotage. We do have a number of staff within ESCOM that are not doing their work properly. They decide to sleep on their job. Probably when they're asked to go and fix some faults, they're taking time, a day or two. All they want is just for the customers to go and beg them, give them something for them to go and give attention to the faults. So this is what is happening at the moment. And of course, all this is also boiling down to the fact that we do not produce enough for our consumption. We do not generate enough power for our generation. So as a result, any slight disturbance in the system, it affects the whole country. So as a government, what are we doing to address this? Firstly, we're making sure that we give attention to upscaling our generation capacity from the current 550 megawatt to at least doubling that by 2030. So what we are doing is to make sure that we invite other players to come in to invest in renewable energies. These are to do with solars and whatnot. So that is happening. At the same time, we are also interconnecting with neighboring countries.
Minister of Information Shadrack Namalomba urged Malawians to trust the DPP-led government that it is resolving all the challenges facing the country. He emphasized that this is not a time for politicking, but for prioritizing the welfare of people. Namalomba further disclosed that moving forward, government will be holding monthly media engagements to keep the nation well informed through press briefings. Chisomo Break, MBC News, Blantyre.
Leader for People's Development Party, PDP, Kondwani Nanguma, has held government for informing Malawians the truth about the state of the country's affairs, noting that the development signals a departure from denial towards a more honest national conversation. Nanguma disclosed this in a statement issued to MBC as part of his party's stand on matters of national interest. We have a report.
Nankuma's statement comes just after hours. The Minister of Energy and Mining, Jean Matanga, alongside the Information Minister Shadrack Namalomba, addressed a press briefing in Blantyre on factors disrupting steady fuel supply and intermittent load shedding. Nanguma noted that by coming out clearly on the situation, the DPP-led administration under the leadership of President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has demonstrated that it is actively seeking solutions to steer Malawi out of the current situation and offers a sense of direction. The PDP leader further urged political parties in the country not to seek political gain from the situation, highlighting that the challenges facing the country are national in character. He further admitted that the challenges confronting the country are complex and multifaceted, arising from global pressures, saying honest assessment must acknowledge this reality. According to Nanguma, at this moment, Malawians must foster a shared national approach grounded in collective wisdom, practical solutions, and a sincere commitment to alleviating the sufferings of the people. He noted that only through unity of purpose and disciplined leadership that President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika continues to demonstrate, the country will navigate through the difficult terrain. Chisomo Break, MBC News, Blantyre.
The Malawi Enterprise Development Fund, MEDEF, has announced the resumption of disbursement of loans by the organization next month. Board chairperson for MEDEF, James Napambo, made the announcement at a press briefing in Lilongwe, and he said the board has put in place firm and strict measures to govern the loans management. Moimtumodze with a report.
In September last year, government directed MEDEF to suspend loan disbursements to allow for a comprehensive institutional review. This was necessitated by the need to confront and address governance, operation and credit management weaknesses that had undermined the effectiveness and sustainability of the fund. MEDEF board chairperson James Napambo said during the suspension period, the organization intensified loan recovery efforts and embarked on corrective interventions aimed at resolving long-standing legacy challenges. Napambo said in order to promote responsible borrowing, the loans would be strictly group-based. For business loans, MEDEF will adopt a prudent and targeted lending approach, focusing on enterprises that demonstrate clear potential for growth, scalability, and meaningful economic impact.
The suspension allowed MEDEF to review its operations and to put together structures and procedures for ensuring that the loans, when they are applied for, they are properly appraised, and when they are appraised, the people borrowing the money are eligible for borrowing, and two, they have got the capacity and capability to repay the loan. We've done that, and that's why today we are resuming the lending process in MEDEF. We are confident that with the procedures we have put in place and the measures we have put in place, going forward, the lending will be done using sound lending principles. And consequently, the loans borrowed will be repaid by the borrowers.
So far, the MEDEF has collected 8 billion kwacha and is in the process of recovering 107 billion kwacha from individuals and groups. Moimtumodze, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Malawi has today joined the rest of the world in commemorating World Malaria Day, an annual global event dedicated to raising awareness about malaria, a disease that continues to claim hundreds of thousands of lives every year. The day was set aside by the World Health Organization, WHO, in 2007 to highlight efforts in controlling and preventing the disease. The theme for this year's day is Driven to End Malaria. Now we can, now we must. Commenting on the day, malaria coordinator for Blantyre, Georgina Majidu, said the disease remains a serious health concern for residents in the district. She speaks to our reporter, George Banda.
Malaria remains a very serious health concern in the district. So over the years, we've experienced a fluctuation of cases. Like in 2022, we had 14,829 cases. And then in 2023, we had 377,019. In 2024, we had 419,188 cases. Whilst in 2025, we experienced a reduction, reporting 170,544 cases. There are several interventions that we use in order to reduce malaria in the district as well as in the country, like the distribution of insecticide-treated nets, and we also make sure that everyone who has signs and symptoms of malaria has to be tested, so diagnosis and treatment of a person with malaria. We also make sure that pregnant women are also prevented by using the intermittent preventive therapy, and we also do community awareness, which is to urge all Malawians to at least seek medical care as early as possible.
This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. The World Bank approves a grant worth $80 million to the Malawi government aimed at boosting governance and service delivery. Over 200 fuel trucks en route into the country as government strives to address fuel shortage. And in sports, the 2026-2027 FDH Bank Premiership set to kick off with 4 matches across the country this afternoon. Welcome back. The Ministry of Energy and Mining says government is banking on the Kasia rutile graphite mining project to help spur the country's economic development. A mining surveyor in the ministry, Hilary Bandawe, said this when Sovereign Metals presented its findings on the definite feasibility study for the Kasia project. Austin Fukula reports.
Bandawe says it is pleasing to note that the definitive feasibility study has shown that rutile deposits at Kasia are at over 20 million tons, more than the initial projection of 17 million tons, while graphite is projected at over 24 million tons.
It's notable to observe that the project is going to include a mining component as well as a processing component, where a processing plant will be set up to produce a high value graphite as well as rutile product.
In a reaction to the development, a well-known mining expert, Gren Malunga, adds that the Kasia rutile and graphite mining is a game changer for Malawi, as it will be the largest mining venture Malawi has ever had. Malunga encourages Malawians to support the project as it will enhance socio-economic activities in the country. Chief Executive Officer for Sovereign Metals, Frankie Eager, points out that the feasibility study has also indicated that revenue for the 25 years of implementation is projected at 28 trillion kwacha from the initial amount of 18 trillion kwacha. Eager says after successfully completing the study, it will start application for a larger scale mining license and also submit the environmental and social impact assessment report to government.
I hope that we can have all these approvals done by the end of the year. So anything faster than that will be a big bonus, but I know it will take time, and we are, we prepared, and we understand the difficulties of getting through these type of applications.
According to Sovereign Metals, the Kasia rutile graphite mining project is expected to employ over 10,000 direct and indirect workers once production kicks off in the next 3 years. Austin Fugula, MPC News, Lilongwe.
Minister of Natural Resources and Climate Change, Patricia Whiskers, says there is need to conduct an audit review of performance agreement between government and the concessionaries operating in Vipya plantations. The minister made the remarks after noting that over 80% of the concessionaries operating in the plantations have not replanted and have left most of their areas without trees. Hassan Piri reports.
This is one of the concession areas that was given out to the people of Malawi to be managing this part of Vipya plantations. But what is happening is that most of the areas that were given out to the people, there is nothing much happening. We are talking of replanting of trees as well as the actual production of timber. This has prompted the minister to engage the concessionaires to find out the main causes of their inactivity on their concession areas. The minister has indicated that government will conduct an audit review to determine the way forward on the matter.
In the meantime, we will be conducting a review of the concessions to assess which ones are performing better and which ones are not performing. At the end of the day, what we'll do is to sit down with the non-performing concessions to see how best they can improve and how they can learn the best practices from the concessions that are actually performing well. We suspect that some concessions or some concessionaires do not have the capacity to continue with the business, and should that be the event, we will again
go on a round table to discuss with them in terms of their business plan and their payment plan, and to assess and learn from them as to whether they are still willing to continue holding these concessions or not. Where there is no capacity, our preference as government is to suspend those concessions and reallocate them to investors that have the capacity to develop their concessions.
Representative of the concessionaires, Paulo Simwale, acknowledges that operators have not really done enough as per their agreement. He, however, stated that forest management requires more time and investment before harvesting.
I've raised quite a number of issues amongst the issue of financing and the fees. Financing, as we indicated there is no financial institution which is willing to give us money, because this is a long-term investment in the sense that it takes about 15 to 20 years to mature, to start harvesting.
Earlier in the day, the minister visited the 15,000-hectare Kaningina Forest Reserve, where she noted the rampant deforestation currently taking place in the forest. She led the crew to dismantle the charcoal kiln, which was constructed in the forest for charcoal production. The minister is in the northern region for official duties, where she is engaged in activities aimed at restoring the environment in Malawi. Hassan Piri, MBC News, Nzimba.
Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, George Chaponda, has commended a new book authored by Justice Tujilani Chizumila for inspiring and challenging people to rise above limitations. Chaponda made the remarks in Lilongwe during the launch of the book. Olive P reports.
The book, titled From a Refugee Girl to a Judge, tells the story of a girl, Justice Tujilani Rose Chizumila herself, who became a refugee at 12, faced statelessness and citizenship challenges, and later became a judge, while also highlighting resilience and hope, among others. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, George Chaponda, commended Justice Chizumila for the book, saying it provides an inspiration to Malawians. Speaking during the launch, former President Dr. Joyce Banda urged refugee girls in the country to define their life goals and remain focused on achieving an extraordinary future. She also cautioned them against copying certain lifestyles, saying they may reduce personal achievement. Justice Tujilani Rose Chizumila said she was inspired to write the book after reflecting on her own lived experience and the lifelong challenges that followed. Chizumila said the book is meant to share a story of resilience and hope, to encourage young people and former refugees to never give up in the face of hardship.
The story is talking about those challenges, and that in that process, broken marriage, parents who were together, their marriage broke up, and those were the only people you were holding on to. And then that pillar collapses, and you're in a foreign country. It was so traumatic. You are so young. So all that, but you learn to hold on to life.
Justice Tujilani Rose Chizumila is a judge of the African Court on Human and People's Rights. Chizumila has also held distinguished roles, including judge of the High Court of Malawi and Malawi's ambassador to Zimbabwe, among others. Olive Piri, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The 2026-2027 FDH Bank Premiership will kick off this afternoon with 4 matches across the country. This is the first season for FDH Bank to sponsor the country's elite football league after signing a 5-year deal with the Super League of Malawi Sulum worth 5 billion kwacha. Meanwhile, Sulum will proceed to host the official launch match at Kamuzu Stadium in Blantyre, defying the Football Association of Malawi, which yesterday advised that currently the venue does not meet the required standards to host elite matches. However, Sulum is proceeding with all match preparations at the stadium, despite being warned by FAM that doing so will result into disciplinary action. The match is between defending champions Mighty Wanderers and Karonga United and will be broadcast live here on MBC. Well, Well, that item also concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. The World Bank approves a grant worth $80 million to the Malawi government aimed at boosting governance and service delivery. Over 200 fuel trucks en route into the country as government strives to address fuel shortage. And in sports, the 2026-2027 FDH Bank Premiership set to kick off with 4 matches across the country this afternoon. You were with me, Opile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely afternoon.
Uthenga wochokera ku Northern Region Water Board. Northern Region Water Board ikudziwitsa makasitomala ake onse kuti kuyambira pa 24 April 2026 idula madzi kwa onse omwe sanalipire mabilo awo amadzi. Chonde kalipireni mabilo anu mwansanga kuti mupewe kudulidwa madzi. Northern Region Water Board ikuchenjezanso makasitomala ake onse kuti asalipire ndalama za mabilu kwa wantchito aliyense wa Water Board. Malipiro onse ayenera kuchitikira ku maofesi a bodi, ku banki kapena kudzera pa foni. Madzi ndi moyo.
You 25 April ndi tsiku limene dziko lonse limakumbukira matenda a malungo, World Malaria Day. Ndiye mtsiku la lero tati timve bwinobwino za malaria in pregnancy, malungo kwa amayi oyembekezera. Ine ndi Joy Mbedza Malunga, ndili ndi mayi Georgina Majidu amene ndi oyang'anira matenda a malungo m'boma la Blantyre. Mayi muli bwanji?
Inero ndili bwino kaya.
Tili bwino.
Ziko.
Poyambirira ndimangofuna mutatifotokozera kuti tikati malaria in pregnancy, malungo kwa mzimayi oyembekezera, ndi chani?
Mafosa abwino kwambiri. Tikanena kuti malaria in pregnancy, kapena kuti malungo kwa mzimayi oyembekezera. Malungo ndi matenda amene amangwira mzimayi oyembekezera, kapena kuti amapereka chiopsezo kwa mzimayi oyembekezera, amene amayambisidwa ndi tizilombo kapena kuti maparasites amene amatchulidwa kuti Plasmodium falciparum. Tizilombo timene timanyamulidwa ndi udzudzu okazi umene umatchulidwa kuti Anopheles mosquito. Ndithu
ndi zizindikiro zotani zimene mzimayi oyembekezera amaonetsa kuti ali ndi nthenda ya malungo?
Kusanza, kutsekula mimba, kukosomola, kutentha thupi, kuphwanya kwa thupi, nthawi zinaso amakhonza kumangwa kufoka, chakudya nthawi zina osakhala nacho chidwi kuti alandire, koma nthawi zina amakhonzanso kukhala ndi zizindikiro zoopsa zimene zimapereka chiopsezo kwa munthu. Ndi zizindikiro monga mzimayi amakhoza kumoka, nthawi zina amakhoza kukhala kuti alibe magazi, pachizungu amati anemia. Nthawi zinanso amakhoza kukhala ndi chikaso m'maso, nthawi zina amakhonzanso kumanena kuti akuoneka kuti mkonzo wake ukuoneka ofiirira ngati imene aonekera Coca-Cola kuti zimene zimabweretsanso chiopsezo kwa mzimayiyo, chifukwa ziwalo zina zimayamba kulephera monga imsho ndi ziwalo zina ndi zina. Ndithu
mafuna ndidziwe kuti pali ndondomeko zotani zimene makhala mukuwapatsa amayi amene ali oyembekezera pofuna kuwatetezera ku malungo makamaka akabwera kandi kusikelo kuja?
Okay, ndizoonadi pali ndondomeko, ndipo tiyamikire boma kapena kuti dziko la Malawi kuti likuyesesa kupeza zinthu zofunikira kuti mzimayi akhale otetezeka. Mwachitsanzo, chaka chathachi kunagawidwa maneti kwa aliyense, koma pambali pokuti aliyense analandira maneti, boma limaonesesa kunena kuti mzimayi wina aliyense amene ali oyembekezera akabwera kusikelo alandire maneti, komanso amayenera kuti adzilandira mankhwala amene amamuteteza mzimayiyo kuti asadwale malungo, mankhwala amene anthu akuwadziwa bwino lomwe ndi dzina lokuti fansida, ena amati SP. Ndithu
pankhani imene ya fansida ndinaonera kuti SP, sindikudziwa mzimayi kuyambira nthawi imene wayamba sikelo akuoneka kumwa nthawi itali bwanji kufikira kuti adzachire mankhwala amene wa fansida?
Mzimayi wina aliyense amene wayamba sikelo, mwina ndifotokoza kuti mzimayi wina aliyense amene akuoneka kuti wayembekezera amayenera kunena kuti ayambe sikelo akafika masabata 12, koma akafika masabata 13 kapena kuti masabata 10 komanso